Winter storms are diving 800 miles further south than normal. Atlanta owns just 30 snowplows for 6 million people. Saturday delivers the knockout punch to the southeast. By Sunday, FEMA activates emergency operations. The National Guard deploys to 8 southern states. This is bigger than Hurricane Katrina in terms of affected area. 300 million Americans face below freezing temperatures. That's 90% of the continental United States. But here's the part that will terrify southern residents. Most homes lack proper insulation for extreme cold. Pipes freeze when temperatures drop below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Thursday's forecast shows 15 degrees Fahrenheit in Nashville. When 2 inches falls, the entire region shuts down completely. Plumbers are already booked solid through New Year's. Insurance claims will exceed $20 billion. Some insurance companies may declare bankruptcy. And the human cost? Emergency rooms are preparing for a 400% increase in hypothermia cases. Homeless populations in southern cities face death. Shelters are already at 150% capacity. Elderly Americans on fixed incomes can't afford heating. This becomes a humanitarian crisis within 72 hours. But there's something even more sinister happening. But this storm system could dump 6 inches across the Tennessee Valley. This Arctic air is creating its own weather patterns. Scientists call it cold air damming. Dense Arctic air pools in valleys like liquid mercury. It can't escape, so it just sits there getting colder. The Tennessee Valley becomes a frozen trap. Chattanooga could stay below freezing for 10 straight days. That's never happened in recorded history. Knoxville faces its coldest December since 1878. Nashville's average temperature could drop 30 degrees, from 45 degrees Fahrenheit normal to 15 degrees Fahrenheit actual. That's 3 times more than what caused the 2014 Atlanta paralysis. Agricultural damage extends far beyond citrus crops. Cotton fields in Alabama face total loss. Cattle ranchers struggle to keep livestock alive. Feed costs skyrocket as trucking becomes impossible. The economic ripple effects last through 2025. But here's what really has experts worried. This is just the opening act of a climate shift. The entire pattern is migrating 500 miles south. What used to hit Chicago now targets Nashville. What used to hit Nashville now threatens Atlanta. So why is this happening? The jet stream has gone completely rogue. Infrastructure built for mild winters can't cope. Southern power grids lack cold weather hardening. Natural gas pipelines freeze at unexpected locations. Water treatment plants shut down across the region. This creates a cascade of infrastructure failures. One system fails, triggering the collapse of others. Transportation networks grind to a complete halt. Airports close. Interstates become parking lots. Supply chains for the entire Southeast break down. Grocery stores run out of food within 48 hours. Arctic air is now flowing like a river toward the Gulf Coast. Pharmacies can't restock critical medications. Fuel deliveries stop, creating widespread shortages. This is societal disruption on a scale never seen. And we're only at the 8-minute mark of this crisis. The worst is yet to come when I reveal how this connects to volcanic activity in Alaska. Eruptions could make this cold snap permanent. But right now, let's focus on immediate survival. Southern residents have never faced cold this extreme. Your home heating system may not be adequate. Meteorologists are tracking 4 separate Arctic invasions. Space heaters become fire hazards when overloaded. Carbon monoxide poisoning spikes 800% during cold snaps. Generator sales are already sold out across 12 states. Hardware stores report unprecedented demand for supplies. Pipe insulation, electric blankets, antifreeze, everything winter-related is disappearing from shelves. But there's something you can do right now to prepare. Step 1. Fill bathtubs with water before pipes freeze. Step 2. Keep faucets dripping to prevent freeze-ups. Step 3. Stock 10 days of non-perishable food. Each one stronger, each one penetrating further south. Step 4. Charge all devices. Power outages are certain. Step 5. Gather warm clothing in one room. Step 6. Fill car gas tanks. Fuel pumps may freeze. Step 7. Download offline maps. Cell towers fail in ice. Step 8. Check on elderly neighbors. They're at highest risk. But even these precautions may not be enough for what meteorologists are calling the new normal. This isn't a once-in-a-decade event anymore. These extreme southern penetrations are accelerating. Next winter could be even more severe. Wave 1 hits Thursday. Wave 2 arrives Saturday. Climate patterns are shifting faster than anticipated. The South needs to fundamentally change its infrastructure. But that adaptation will take decades. Meanwhile, millions remain vulnerable to Arctic invasion. Insurance companies are already drafting new policies. Winter weather coverage in the South could triple in cost. Real estate values in cold, vulnerable areas will plummet. This economic disruption reshapes the entire region. But the immediate concern is human survival. Thursday through Sunday represents maximum danger. Wave 3 strikes next Tuesday, and Wave 4, emergency services will be overwhelmed and unreliable. Response times stretch from minutes to hours. You are essentially on your own during this crisis. Community cooperation becomes essential for survival. Share resources, check on neighbors, work together, because isolation during extreme cold equals death. Now, about that volcanic connection I mentioned. Alaska's Mount Redoubt is showing increased activity. Volcanic ash in the stratosphere reflects solar radiation. This could extend the cold pattern by months. Are you in the path of this unprecedented Arctic invasion? That's the one that could bring snow to northern Florida, creating a volcanic winter on top of Arctic invasion. The combination would be catastrophic for agriculture. Global food shortages could trigger social unrest. This is how natural disasters become civilizational threats. One extreme event cascades into multiple crises. Weather, economics, politics, all interconnected. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. The immediate priority is surviving the next 10 days. Because this Arctic blast is just the beginning. Meteorologists are tracking 3 more waves behind it. Oklahoma City faces its biggest snowstorm in 5 years. December 15th. Second major Arctic outbreak. December 22nd, third wave hits during Christmas travel. January 2nd, final wave ushers in brutal January. Each wave penetrates deeper south than the last. By January, snow is possible in Jacksonville. Orange groves face total destruction. Florida's economy could lose $50 billion. Tourism industry collapses during peak season. This becomes a regional economic depression. But perhaps the most shocking revelation, Wichita Falls could see 10 inches in just 12 hours. Government agencies have been preparing for this. Classified NOAA reports predicted southern vulnerability. FEMA has pre-positioned resources in unexpected locations. They knew this Arctic expansion was coming. But they didn't warn the public to avoid panic. Now millions face the consequences of official silence. As this historic Arctic blast engulfs America, remember that you're witnessing a turning point. The map of American winter is being redrawn. Nothing will be the same after this event. Amarillo is preparing for complete whiteout conditions. Stay warm, stay safe, stay connected to neighbors. Your survival depends on community cooperation. Don't miss my next video about the hidden agenda. I'll expose why weather modification programs may be amplifying these Arctic invasions. The evidence will shock you to your core. Subscribe now for exclusive access to documents that prove government weather manipulation is real. The next crisis is already being engineered, and you need to know what's coming. But what's really shocking is happening in the upper atmosphere. This has been your emergency winter weather alert. The Arctic invasion of the South begins now. Your life may depend on the actions you take today. Stay vigilant. Stay prepared. The worst is yet to come. In my next exclusive investigation, I'll reveal how HAARP technology connects to these weather anomalies. The government doesn't want you to see this evidence, but you deserve to know the truth about manufactured weather. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications immediately. Your survival depends on staying informed. The Arctic Oscillation just flipped to its most negative reading. The next chapter of this weather war begins tomorrow. Don't be caught unprepared for what's coming. This emergency broadcast is now complete. May God help us all through the frozen hell ahead. Remember, when society collapses, only the prepared survive. The Great Southern Freeze of 2024 starts Thursday. History will remember this as the day everything changed. Stay strong, stay together. The ordeal has just begun. Tomorrow's video reveals the classified weather weapons. The technology that's turning winter into warfare. In 15 years, this essentially unlocks the Arctic freezer. You won't believe what your government is hiding from you. This is just the beginning of the weather manipulation truth. The real storm is the one they don't want you to see. Subscribe now before they try to silence this channel. The weather war against America has begun. And you are the target. The North Atlantic Oscillation is also going negative. This creates a blocking pattern over Greenland. Cold air has nowhere to go except straight south. For the first time in decades, Alabama faces snow warnings. And there's a third factor that will genuinely terrify you. The Madden-Julian Oscillation is entering Phase 7. This tropical pattern amplifies winter weather in North America. All three indicators pointing to the same outcome. The most sustained winter pattern since 2009. Lake effect snow machines are already in overdrive. Buffalo could see 6 feet of snow by weekend. Michigan's Upper Peninsula faces 8 feet in some spots. Cleveland is preparing for its snowiest week on record. But here's what makes this pattern unprecedented. Tennessee could see 4 inches, Oklahoma braces for 8 inches. The Great Lakes are still 15 degrees above normal. When minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit air hits 50 degrees Fahrenheit water, it creates a 70-degree temperature difference. This supercharges snow production beyond all models. Erie, Pennsylvania could disappear under 10 feet of snow. Syracuse faces potential roof collapses from snow weight. And this is just the beginning of the southern invasion. Nashville has issued its first snow advisory in 3 years. Memphis could see measurable snow for the first time since 2021. Birmingham is preparing emergency shelters for the homeless. But there's something crucial nobody is telling you about this pattern shift. But the most shocking development? Computer models show snow flurries are possible in northern Alabama. That's 400 miles further south than last year's storms. At the 3-minute mark, let me share the exact timing. Thursday, 6 a.m. is when everything begins. That's when Arctic air collides with Gulf moisture. The collision zone stretches from Dallas to Atlanta. 180 million Americans wake up to freezing temperatures. But the southern states are completely unprepared. Texas owns 700 snowplows for 30 million people. Iowa just hit minus 16 degrees Fahrenheit in early December. That's 24 times fewer than Minnesota per capita. When roads ice over, emergency services collapse entirely. Ambulance response times triple. Hospitals overflow. Power grids strain under unprecedented heating demand. Remember the Texas freeze of 2021? This could be worse, because this time, the cold penetrates even deeper south. And it's not just one day, it's a 2-week siege. Natural gas prices have already spiked 60% this week. Heating bills could quadruple for southern residents. Citrus crops face $5 billion in damage. That's actually colder than Antarctica during their summer. Orange juice prices will skyrocket by Christmas. But here's the detail that changes everything. This pattern is being driven by solar activity. The sun is in its maximum phase, disrupting atmospheric flows. Solar particles are literally pushing the jet stream south. NASA confirms this is the strongest solar maximum since 2001. That year brought the most extreme weather in decades. Now it's happening again, but with a southern twist. Traditional forecast models are breaking down. Yesterday's snow predictions were off by 8 inches. In just 30 seconds, you'll understand why the South is completely defenseless. Today's forecast could be equally wrong. Meteorologists are operating in uncharted territory. The atmosphere is behaving like nothing they've seen before. Don't miss what I reveal at the 5-minute mark. The exact hour each city gets hit by this Arctic assault. But first, let me show you something that will shock you. Satellite data reveals the polar vortex has fractured. Instead of one circular pattern, it's now 3 pieces. Each piece is spinning independently, creating chaos. Now let me give you the exact timeline of what's coming. Southern cities have virtually no snow equipment whatsoever. Wednesday, 11 p.m., first snowflakes hit the Texas Panhandle. Thursday, 3 a.m., heavy snow begins in Oklahoma City. Thursday, 6 a.m., winter weather advisories for Tennessee. Thursday, 9 a.m., Atlanta's northern suburbs see snow flurries. Thursday, 12 p.m., Birmingham reports first accumulation. Thursday, 3 p.m., Nashville hits 28 degrees Fahrenheit with steady snow. Thursday, 6 p.m., Chattanooga schools close early. Thursday, 9 p.m., Interstate 40 becomes impassable. That's just day 1 of this unprecedented event. Friday brings the second wave, even more intense.